Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Saturday afternoon stream. Just wanted to get on here. We'll talk a little Melvin Gordon. We'll talk a little Richie Incognito. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Bills fans, we are here to talk about the topics that are going on in the NFL during this off season. We know it's July. We know there's not much going on July 13th. We know that training camp starts July 25th. So not too far away, less than 2 weeks. As you know, we posted some videos talking about training camp coming up. So we do look forward to that. And then things will begin to heat up a little bit more as far as news around the NFL. Again, real quiet time in the NFL, but if you're a Bills fan, you don't mind the quiet, right? You don't mind having a little bit of quiet. You don't want to hear anything more about LeSean McCoy. You don't want to hear anything more about Zay Jones. You don't want to hear any of that. You just want to keep it quiet. You know, you look at the Richie Incognito situation, you look at the Oakland Raiders. I'm sure they're not too happy right now, even though you kind of expect the NFL is going to do something to discipline Richie Incognito. We'll talk about if you guys think that was enough, the penalty for what he did. If you think that was enough, we'll go over again what he did as well, why he's being suspended for those 2 games. And we'll also talk about Melvin Gordon. Of course, news came out just the other day. Melvin Gordon is going to hold out, and he wants a new contract. Possibly will be seeking a trade. And we'll talk a little bit about the Buffalo Bills, and can you see the Buffalo Bills making that trade for Melvin Gordon? So we'll talk about those things. I'll wait a little bit, let you guys get in here. Just, again, thank you for joining me. I appreciate that on this Saturday afternoon. I know it's 3 o'clock here, so I know a lot of you probably out enjoying this beautiful day. I'll be out shortly in a little bit, too. To enjoy this beautiful day. But again, I wanted to get on here. We'll talk about Melvin Gordon. We'll talk about Richie Incognito. And we'll also talk about the Buffalo Bills. I answer any questions that you guys might have for me as well. But it is a beautiful Saturday. I'm actually watching NFL Network. We're watching the 2018 divisional matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the LA Rams. But mostly I want to see if there's any breaking news coming out. Basically, they're just talking about the rookie schedule. Ronald Anix, welcome to Billievers Talk. Thank you for joining me. You hope we do get Melvin Gordon. Is that what you're talking about? I think the good news about the Gordon thing is Bean's going to ask, right? Bean is going to make that phone call. But yeah, thanks. Yeah, I know it's a tough call. I was listening to Paul from Hashtag Sports just yesterday morning. He went live to break down a bunch of things about that. So I might actually add that video down in my description below. I'm not going to give you as good of a description as he did about the contracts and what all that means. But I know the Bills have about 25 mil in cap space currently. Currently, you look at the top 3 running backs in the NFL, and they're all looking at that close to that or above that $10 million mark, or $12 million, I believe it is. And so we hope. Oh, you hope we don't chase him. Sorry, Ronald. You hope we don't chase him. Well, I'm going to break this down a little bit. I think it's a lot closer than people might think. I personally think it's like 55% don't go after him, 45% go after him. I think it's really close here. I mean, talk about the age difference. I mean, if we get Melvin Gordon, right, you're pretty positive we're going to get rid of LeSean McCoy. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the way that would work out. I don't see us getting Melvin Gordon and then having McCoy or Gordon as the second back to each other. I just don't think that would work out well for either one of them. But I think it's pretty close. I mean, you talk about the injuries for Melvin Gordon, but you can talk about the age of LeSean McCoy. Would you rather? What do we have right now? 10 running backs. We do have a live running backs right now, and we have a tough enough decision as is, right? We talked about that in my roster breakdown, how tough a decision it's going to be to break down the Evil Crazy. Welcome to Billievers Talk. Thanks for joining me. Too many injuries. I know he was in July. He's only played 1 full season. Again, I know Paul from Hashtag Sports. Again, guys, if you're not subscribed to Hashtag Sports, I'll put the link to his video down in the description after I'm done here. They always do a great job, and he went live yesterday to talk about the Melvin Gordon thing a little bit more. But I know that he's only played 1 full season in his 4 years in the league, and I know it's been a lot of right leg issues. So you do wonder about that. But again, I mean, what's the difference between that and a 31-year-old back in LeSean McCoy? What's the big difference here? Hey, Paul, how you doing? So obviously we got some different opinions here. Like I said, I think it's close. I think it's close as far as should we go after him or shouldn't we? Before we do that, so while I have people coming in, what I'll do is we'll talk a little about Richie Incognito, ex-Buffalo Bill, right? We all know he had those problems before with the thing with funeral home, which is why he's being suspended. Yeah, let's not make fun of each other on here. So I'm gonna hide that, Paul. Let's make fun of that. Let's not make fun of people on here. We can share our opinions, but so Richie Incognito, right? He went to the funeral home. This was back in August, I believe it was. No, August last year. When was this? I forget when it was. I forget when it was, but I know it happened not too long ago. He went to a funeral home that was going to be the funeral home that was burying his dad, who had passed away. He came in asking for his dead dad's body. San Diego ball out? Maybe. I hope so. I hope that was a good draft pick. But anyhow, he asked for the body of his dad. He wanted the body of his dad to cut off his dad's head. And he, when the funeral home refused to give him the body of his father, he created a scene. He created some damage. He went crazy on some of the staff. And then when they called the police got there and they found, oh yeah, he threatened to shoot up the funeral home. And then when the police got there, they found guns and ammunition in his truck. So that is why he's being suspended. Most people, and I would agree, would say 2 games is enough for something like that. He wasn't technically part of the NFL at the time, but we didn't think we'd be seeing him back so soon at all, right? We didn't think we'd see him back the same season. 2 months after that incident, he comes out of retirement, and the Oakland Raiders, of course, pick him up. And the rest is history from now. And like I said, even though it's kind of boring right now with having no football going on, I like the quiet. I like not hearing anything from Buffalo Bills saying that they're in trouble. Unfortunately, Richard Incognito, and I hope that Richard Incognito's mental issues get all cleared up. I hope he gets better mentally and physically, and beyond the NFL career. I hope that he takes care of himself that way. And I hope that this is the last thing, and he serves his suspension. Even though, again, I'm not sure if it's quite enough for what he did, but I hope he serves his suspension. He's learned from his mistakes and he moves on. Obviously, all you guys want to really talk about is the Melvin Gordon situation. I see Paul and Ronald going back and forth, saying, and they both have different viewpoints on this topic, and that's okay. That's why we're here. That's why we talk about it. We talk about Melvin Gordon going to the Buffalo Bills. First, let's talk about LeSean McCoy. If we were to drop LeSean McCoy, that would save us 6.3, I believe, $4 million in cap space. Currently due to make about 8.5 this season. Okay, they're talking more about Singletary now. We'll go through that. But McCoy would save us 6-point-some million in cap space. But when you talk about signing Melvin Gordon, you have to add that $2 million. So let's say we sign Melvin Gordon for $10 million, right? Well, now we have to add $2 million to that this season, because with losing McCoy, we're basically signing Gordon to $12 million, which would make him one of the top 4 running backs in the league. Now, is Melvin Gordon worth top 4 running back in the league money, including the injuries? We talk about the injuries again. He only played in 1 full season. I don't know if that's worth it. Now, if he's willing to take less this year so we can absorb that dead cap money, then get more money next year or the year after, then we have something to talk about. But I don't think he's willing to take less this year, because look what he's doing right now with LA. You can always say that this is a situation that we really don't want to get involved in. The Chargers problems are the Chargers problems. Let's keep it that way. But we'll see what happens. Who's playing to this? Devin Singletary's stats over the last 2 or 3 seasons he was in college. If you look at Devin Singletary's stats, I actually brought this up with a commenter. Now, he does have good stats, but in his college career, he played 3 Power 5 teams. 3. And in those 3 games, he did not play as well as we would hope he did. I believe his first game was against Miami University. He actually had, I think, his 4 carries for -2 yards. He then wanted to play Oklahoma, won those games as well, rushed it for, I think, 18 times for about 60-some yards, 68 yards, something like that. And Wisconsin, he played them as well and didn't do so well there. So, yes, he played well. Now, I would also say small sample size, right? 3 games, small sample size, not something that you can really say, oh, he doesn't play well against the top competition. But at the same time, you look at his overall body of work and you say, yeah, you can't complain over his overall body of work. But his toughest competition in the 3 years he was there, minus those 3 games, was Troy. He played Buffalo. It's just a matter of competition as well. You look at Melvin Gordon's stats. We can bring up Melvin Gordon's stats if you want, but guys, again, we're not getting rid of Devin Singletary if we sign Melvin Gordon. That's not going to happen. Devin Singletary is going to be on this team. Just look at the cap numbers, the salary cap numbers. We would owe Devin Singletary more money to not be on this team if we cut him than if we kept him in dead cap. So that's something that we can't talk about really too much. If you would sign for 10 as to prove it, but you're signing for 10 and to prove it, he doesn't want a 1-year deal. Right? So you're signing 10, it's not prove it now. Now you're talking about guaranteed 12 the next season. Well, if he doesn't prove it, well, if we pay him 10 this year and he gets injured week 3, that's not a prove it then. Let me pull up Melvin Gordon's stats for everybody, guys. And we'll pull up all of his stats from all the seasons he's played in the NFL. Again, only that one full season in the NFL so far. Believe me, I had Melvin Gordon on a lot of my fantasy teams back when I played fantasy. And it was always disappointing when he would get hurt. So in 2018, he had 175 carries for 885 yards, 10 touchdowns. And you can't knock 10 touchdowns either. Also, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He had 50 receptions last season. 2017, his only full season, he had 284 attempts, 1,105 yards, 8 touchdowns, 58 receptions. 2016, 254 attempts, 997 yards. 2015, his rookie year, 184 attempts, 641 yards. Career total, we're talking 897 carries, 3,628 yards. He's averaging 4 yards per carry, 28 touchdowns, and 182 receptions in his first 4 seasons. They are. Hey, hashtag welcome. Yeah, I was just talking about Paul. You did a good video on this yesterday morning, so I thank you for that. I got a lot of good information from that. But if you look at McCoy's stats last season, McCoy's stats were kind of ugly as well, right? So again, if we do trade for Melvin Gordon, it's Gordon for McCoy. Now again, we do want to say that offensive line was pretty horrid last year, and it was, and so McCoy's numbers slipped largely because of that, and hopefully this season will prove otherwise. And that's another thing you gotta look at too. Right now we're getting younger, and I know Gordon's 4 or 5 years younger than McCoy, but if you look at the number, if you look at it, we're getting rid of McCoy this year. Do we want to sign another long-term running back to a big contract, right? McCoy's done at the end of this year. Do we want to, once he's gone, do we want to have another 4 years of Melvin Gordon at $12 million a year? Is that something we want? I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it is. I'm just asking the question, is that something we want? We saw how it worked out with LeSean McCoy, got him his contract extension, played well, 2 or 3 Pro Bowl seasons for us. I think it was 2 Pro Bowl seasons for us, 2 years over 1,000 yards. Not that bad, but now you look at the end of his career or end of his time here in Buffalo, and you're wondering, is it worth that type of money? Is McCoy still Paul, you put up the numbers yesterday. McCoy's still, I think, the 5th highest paid back in the NFL, 4th or 5th. So he's making close to $9 million a year, or is making $9 million a year. Paul, welcome to Billievers Talk. He says trade for trade for Melvin Gordon. Ronald, I know you say you don't want to trade for Melvin Gordon. Reunite McCoy with former running back coach Anthony Lynn. Hey, we know that could happen as well. But Paul, you brought up a good point yesterday. Also, maybe this just means we can trade for someone else in the Chargers on the Chargers team. Just because they're gonna try to make salary cap space for Gordon, right? So we'll see. And you look at some of the players on the Chargers, and like Paul alluded to yesterday, the Chargers not exactly a young team here, and I don't think they give up any of their young talent either. But you do have to wonder if that's an option as well. Anthony Lynn. I'm not knocking you as a whole. My only concern is how much is he really going to play and how much are we going to have to pay him? And not only is health a concern, right now we currently have a running back by committee situation in our backfield, right? You look at McCoy, you look at Gore, you look at Yeldon, you look at Singletary. Who's going to get the majority of the carries? Probably McCoy, but is it going to be a whole lot more than those other three guys? Melvin Gordon probably wants to play for a team where he's the star running back, and sure, I'm sure we would make room for Melvin Gordon, right? I'm sure we'd make sure Melvin Gordon got his carries. But you do have to, again, you have to wonder if that's something that Buffalo is looking to do right now. Sean McDermott, Coach McDermott, he's looking to add a certain culture, or already has started to add a certain culture to Buffalo. Does Melvin Gordon fit that culture? We got rid of a lot of talent when McDermott came in. Are we willing to take on Melvin Gordon? I'm not sure. Yeah, Melvin Ingram, right? Hashtag sports. Can you imagine we traded for Melvin Ingram, just the mismatches we would have all day, and depth we would have as well. You would just see fresh defensive ends, coming in all the time. Jerry Hughes, Melvin Ingram, you got Shaq Lawson, you have Trent Murphy just coming in constantly, adding pressure to the quarterbacks. When you talk about having a quarterback like TB12 in your division, always good to keep getting pressure on him. We know he doesn't do well under pressure, so right, that's a guy that you could look at trading for, and you have to weigh the pros and cons of that. Now, the only way that works is if the LA Chargers are looking to keep Melvin Gordon. Maybe they're listening to Melvin Gordon right now and saying, hey, you're ridiculous. We're not paying you that kind of money. Go ahead, go somewhere else. And maybe they're happy to trade Melvin Gordon. And if that's the case, we have to wonder why that is. Is he going to be, like I said, is he going to be like Le'Veon Bell? Is he going to sit out all season if he doesn't get what he wants? And if that's the case, is that the type of guy we want on our team? Someone who's always looking out for what he wants. Now, yeah, he's in the 5th year of his rookie deal. He's not making all that much money. Again, Paul, I know you went over the contract yesterday, but it is your contract. That's part of the deal. And, what stinks for him is even if he sits out this season, the Chargers could franchise tag him next year. Now, I know they're tight on salary cap space, but they could franchise tag him next year. Now, if you franchise tag him, then you are paying him the average of the top 5 running backs in the league. So you have to decide, is he worth that much? But depending on what he's asking for, it might be less than what he's asking for. Again, you have 3 guys up near the $12 million mark, and then you have the next. They have a big gap there. The next highest paid running backs are at $9 million. So you average that out. If he's looking for a $12 million deal, it comes out to be less than what he's looking for. So, do they let him sit out for a year and say, who cares? Do what you need to do. And we've seen that happen before. We've seen, the Redskins did that with Kirk Cousins. They actually franchise tagged him twice. And the Chargers can let this sit there for a while. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win. It would not be smart to. But if they want to do that, say, hey, okay, we're not paying you all that much this year, and then we can franchise tag you next year, so go ahead and sit out this year. Now, again, do you want a disgruntled employee in your locker room? Probably not, but that is what the LA Chargers can do. Right now, Gordon, we don't know what kind of money he's asking for. Is Gordon asking for only $9 million a season? Because he could be asking for more than that. He could look at Le'Veon Bell and he could look at some of the other running backs and say, hey, I deserve that kind of money. I mean, do we agree with them? Probably not, because of the injuries. You're looking at, again, 3 out of his first 4 seasons has not been on the field for every single game. But if that's what he's looking for, there's no way the Buffalo Bills should entertain that offer. If he's looking for $12 million a year, because he's not Le'Veon Bell. If the Buffalo Bills wanted to pay a running back $12 million, don't you think they would have went after Le'Veon Bell during free agency? But no, if you're asking me who would you rather have right now, Le'Veon Bell or Melvin Gordon, who would you rather have? Right? Le'Veon Bell. And they didn't go after Le'Veon Bell. At least they didn't give him the money Le'Veon Bell wanted. They didn't give him the money the Jets gave him. So now you're going to tell me that we're going to do that with Melvin Gordon? I don't know. I don't believe that. Now, is Melvin Gordon asking for a little less money? Maybe. I have no idea. But yeah, again, you look at what hashtag sports. I don't know if it's Paul Mario on there. So, but you look at what hashtag sports said, and you look at like Melvin Ingram. You look at something like that. You look at someone else that maybe we could trade for. I know Paul yesterday brought up a wide receiver for the Chargers. I almost said San Diego because you did it yesterday, Paul. So I'm gonna blame you for that. But we could trade for a wide receiver from the LA Chargers as well. We could trade for a couple guys who could help out this team if they want to make that salary cap space. But we'll see what happens. Again, we still have some time before training camp. Training camp doesn't start until July 25th. We'll see what happens in training camp. God, what if one of our running backs goes down early in training camp? And we haven't even yet talked about the kind of compensation that we'd be having to give up for Melvin Gordon. Right? What kind of compensation would the Chargers be asking for Melvin Gordon? And are you willing to give that up on top of the $10 to $12 million a year? I'm just concerned about trying to make a big money move and it not working out. And then we are in the same spot we were in before. I think Brandon Beane, I think this regime has earned our trust in that regard, right? You look at all the team-friendly deals that we made this offseason and the offseason before that. You look at the dead cap money situation, how quickly Brandon Beane turned that around, right? Brandon Beane turned that around just like that. Last season we had all this dead cap money, now we have barely any, okay? And he did it in a blink of an eye, one season. So we're hoping that doesn't happen again. But I think this regime, whether you talk about Brandon Beane, whether you talk about Coach McDermott, whoever you say, has earned our trust in that regard as far as, they're not going to sign a big money guy unless they really think he's worth it. Now, yes, injuries happen. You can't always predict injuries. But another good thing about Brandon Beane, which he showed us in the Antonio Brown situation, which he showed us in other situations with LeVeon Bell, he's going to make that phone call to the LA Chargers, and he's going to at least ask, hey, or maybe to Melvin Gordon's agent, and just be like, hey, what kind of money are you looking for? Would you be willing to come to Buffalo? Because, again, he could be like Antonio Brown, too, right, guys? He could be like Antonio Brown and say, hey, I don't want to go to Buffalo, in which case, discussion over. Discussion over, that's fine. Don't come to Buffalo. We'll beat you someplace else, just like we will Antonio Brown. That's fine. I know that there are other possible suitors for Melvin Gordon as well, so that's an interesting scenario to think about. But, again, are we willing to pay $10 to $12 million for Melvin Gordon and give up? Paul threw it out there yesterday, so I'll throw it out there today. A second this year and a third next year. Are we willing to give that up for Melvin Gordon? And let's not forget that 10 to 12 needs to add the extra $2 million this year that McCoy was due at his. That would be dead cap money for McCoy. Are we willing to give that all up? That's what the question is, because it's not as simple as, we can get Melvin Gordon. We have the salary cap space to do it, but we'd be giving up a lot more as well than just salary. We'd be giving up draft capital. We'd probably be giving up maybe a player, and is that something we want to do? I don't know. That's something that Brandon Beane's going to answer. I have faith in this front office. I have faith that they're at least going to do their homework. They're at least going to look into it. But the ball is still in the LA Chargers and Melvin Gordon's court, right? This could all be a smokescreen, or this could not a smokescreen, but this could all boil over, or this could all calm down. And the LA Chargers can make him an offer. He'll sign it when he enters training camp, and then it's no big deal. We see this from time to time with these big name players. We saw it last year with Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell's situation was a little different because he did sit out the whole season. But we see it every year, big name players wanting more money, and normally it gets figured out. Again, last year an exception to that, but normally it gets figured out whether they do trade him or whether he does get the money he wants. Normally something happens. We can all agree that we just want to kick some ass. Absolutely. If we can all agree on one thing, let's go Buffalo this season. I'm looking to run after that division, not just a wild card spot. We'll get into my prediction video when the season gets closer. Again, I don't want to get too close or too much into predictions now, just because a lot can happen between now and the beginning of the season, September 7th or whenever it is. So I will give you my prediction video. And just so that you guys know, I will be on here every week giving you my prediction for every single game, deciding if I want to do against the spread or straight up. So you guys can let me know in the comment section. Would you rather me do my predictions against the spread or straight up? And this year, unlike last year, I'll keep track of my record. See how I do. See if I do well or not. So we'll see what happens there. But with Gordon, it's a 12-win season if he stays healthy. if he stays healthy, right? If he stays healthy, then we can appreciate what he brings. If he doesn't stay healthy, then we have to rely on Devin Singletary to be a baller, to ball out, because he then becomes one of our starting running backs, right? So we don't want a situation like last year where Patrick DeMarco is our only running back left over, which I don't think is going to happen, but you never know. You never know with injuries when they're going to occur. So and maybe Melvin Gordon just doesn't want to come here. Maybe Melvin Gordon, like Antonio Brown, just doesn't want to come. Hey, Dan Martinez, welcome to Billievers Talk. We're going running backs unless someone gets hurt. Well, and you can always say that, and that's why I kind of alluded to at the beginning of the video. Hey, Melvin Gordon's not going to have a contract the first day of training camp, and it looks like this might be a long holdout if they don't get an extension or if they don't trade him anyway. So why would we be in a hurry? Unless we hear that other teams are really interested, why are we going to be in a hurry to pull that trigger, right? Because I'm sure right now LA is figuring out their options, so they might be taking calls, but they're not going to be in a hurry to answer any of them, right? They're going to weigh their options, figure out what's best for them. Hey, Fox87, welcome to Billievers Talk. Always good to have you on here. Thank you for joining me on this Saturday afternoon stream, giving you guys live coverage for our Buffalo Bills. I'll answer any questions you guys have too, other than the Melvin Gordon situation. We did talk briefly about the incognito situation, but by where the chat was going, I could tell that you guys only care about Melvin Ingram right now and whether or not he should be a Buffalo Bill or not. Again, lots of options out there for Melvin Ingram. I think the LA Chargers might try to make him a deal as well, because he is a star running back. You have to say he's a top 7, maybe even top 5 running back in the NFL. But another thing about the running back position is, unless you're one of those elite running backs, you can find a running back in the draft that's going to do just fine. It's going to be more than serviceable as a running back. Hopefully that's Devin Singletary for us this year. LeSean McCoy still has something to prove too. Are we willing to give up on LeSean McCoy? Just 2-3 months ago, most of us Bills fans were saying, no, let's give LeSean McCoy another shot. Now that we have an offensive line revamped, remember, LeSean McCoy is just a year away from a 1,000-plus yard season. LeSean McCoy doesn't have that many injury concerns. So what do we really gain all that much if we trade for Melvin Gordon and get rid of LeSean McCoy? Other than we do get 4 years younger, so that's a good thing. I'm not saying Melvin Gordon wouldn't help us, but would he help us more than McCoy would? I mean, Melvin Gordon's a great back, but McCoy was a great back not all that long ago. And if the offensive line was to blame for all those issues, is he going to be a great back again? He was a Pro Bowl back 2 years ago. Not that long ago, him and Rich Incognito and Kyle Williams were all in Hawaii together. So will he be that great back again? Are we willing to say, hey, forget LeSean McCoy, we're done with him? And what do we get for LeSean McCoy? Nothing. We would get nothing for LeSean McCoy. We would just probably cut him at that point. Maybe trade him for a 7th. I mean, what do we do if we get Melvin Gordon with LeSean McCoy? We can't have them both there. I'm not saying it won't help us, but what cost, and is it worth it in the end? And that's what it comes down to. It's not a matter of if he will help us or not all the time. It's a matter of how much will it cost us? How much, and is it worth the cost? And if we could guarantee ourselves a 12-win season and him healthy all those games, yes, it's worth the cost. We can't guarantee that. We cannot guarantee he's going to stay healthy the whole year. And as he's proven, he hasn't been reliable in that area. We can never guarantee anyone's going to be healthy, but 80% of your career you haven't been. So the numbers say you probably won't this year again. Now, the good thing is, hopefully numbers turn around for him. He's still kind of young. He still has some years left as an elite running back. So I do hope nothing but the best. Thomas, welcome to Billievers Talk. There's been 3-way trade going to Buffalo. You're a funny guy. There hasn't been any breaking news. He's kidding. Nothing's happened. Like I said, I have NFL Network on right now just in case something were to pop up, but nothing's happening right now. Dan Martinez, you're right, Ronald. I think we're good at running back unless someone gets hurt. We got plenty of firepower, and we do, but we have plenty of firepower. But Melvin Gordon has more firepower than all the firepower we have right now. I mean, again, unless you're making the argument to me that McCoy still has something in his tank and that he can match whatever production Melvin Gordon has. I don't think he can, but maybe he can. Maybe he can. We're not good at running back, just old. We did get younger with Devin Singletary. Again, it's a toss-up, and that's why there's so much discussion in the chat room right now, in the chat, because it's a toss-up. It really is. But I know the good thing as Bills fans I think we can all lean on is we know Brandon Beane and this front office is going to do the homework. We know Brandon Beane. One thing I've loved about Brandon Beane so far as our GM, once he sets a price for something, whether it be draft picks, whether it be players, whether it be whatever it is, he sets that price and says, I'm not going anywhere. This is my price. And this is what I think this player's worth. If he wants more, we're done. And he doesn't jump from that number. He doesn't do anything. So I think our front office has earned our trust in that way. I know that Brandon Beane is going to make that phone call. And if Melvin Gordon ends up on our team, I know that our front office and our team will probably be better for it, and at least they think that they'll be better for it. And so I'm going to trust them. Trust the process. Here we go. This is one of those situations where you have to trust them, and they really have done a good job over the first 3 years. They've made some questionable decisions, but over the first 3 years, as far as contracts go, I think they've done a really good job. Obviously, everything's going to be linked with McDermott and Beane with Josh Allen, right? But as far as everything else around him goes, I think they've done a good job. 2 years ago we made the playoffs. I don't think anyone projected us to do that, and we probably shouldn't have with the roster we had, but we did. We have a really good, almost great head coach. I might say great head coach who's going to get us a few wins just because of his scheming defensively and things like that, and because he has the team playing hard. So when are you doing your scheduled prediction video? It's going to be, so training camp ends August 6th. And speaking of August 6th, guys, if you haven't already, you have plenty of time to submit entries for this Buffalo Bills Andre Reed helmet, signed mini helmet. If you go onto our Twitter page, you can follow me on Twitter. Go to www.bewarethestampede.com. There's 5 or 6 different ways to enter. Log your entries there. Each entry gets you an entry to win this mini helmet. That's going on from now till the end of training camp, August 6th. So you want to be sure to do that. But anyway, my prediction video will definitely come out after August 6th, after training camp. Probably close, if not maybe a little after that third preseason game. We know the third preseason game is that dress rehearsal game, and I'll definitely, I want to get this in full view, even though you won't see me. But I'll definitely probably do it after that third preseason game, just because I want to make sure that no one gets seriously injured. I hope no one seriously gets injured, because obviously these injuries will affect our predictions and how we are going to do the season. So I'll do it the one time. I'll probably do it after that third preseason game sometime that week. So I do look forward to that. So that'll be coming out, guys. So go ahead and get ready for that. I will break down the games a little bit as the games go on. And as you guys know, if you joined me last year, every Thursday, halftime of Thursday Night Football, I'll go live. And Mondays for the halftime of the Monday Night Football game, I'll be going live then as well. Give a recap for that previous Sunday's game. So we'll be doing that. And Thursday, then I'll do my breakdown of the game coming up. If you guys haven't already heard Hashtag Sports in this room earlier, Hashtag Sports and Believers Talk are not only going to be doing this on YouTube, we will be simulcasting our live events also on sportscaster.com. Link in the description below. So you want to make sure to head over to sportscaster.com, and we'll be doing live play-by-play and reaction videos there, as well as still simulcasting them here on YouTube. So if you're here on YouTube, don't think it's going to hurt your coverage. However, if you go over to Sportscaster, free to sign up. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a great time. Paul, Mario, and myself, we're going to do a great job for you guys, continuing to give you Buffalo Bills content. So you're doing yours tomorrow. Hey, Fox87, always a good channel to check out, so go ahead and check him out as he'll do a prediction video on the Buffalo Bills tomorrow and one at the end of the preseason. You heard it here first, but go over to Fox87, check out those predictions. I love prediction videos, just see who's closest to getting them right and wrong. I think the Bills have a chance to have a really good season this year, maybe even more special if we do get Melvin Gordon, as we discussed earlier in this video. I think Frank Gore will get between 600 to 800 yards. Frank Gore is consistent, if nothing else. Frank Gore will definitely be pounding that rock every time he gets it. I like the fact that we have Frank Gore on this team. I think it's a little bit of a step up from last season. Even though, like I said, I mean, I never had a problem with the guy who was on our team last year. I can't remember, TJ Yeldon, and the other guy from Jacksonville, who I'll remember in 10 seconds. So you guys remind me in the comment section. I didn't have a problem with how well he played for us last year. I thought he didn't do too bad for us last season, but we'll see what happens. Everyone's forgetting about Yeldon. I'm not forgetting about Yeldon, but like I said in my last video yesterday, I think Yeldon's on that bubble as far as if he will or won't make this team. Yeldon definitely has some work to do, I think, in training camp to prove they can be on this team. I mean, you look at this running back room; it's just full. It's just full with great talent, and so it's going to be tough to really make this team. TJ Yeldon, great out of the backfield, so receiving the ball. So we'll see if he makes it. I think he has a shot, but right now I think I have him on the outside looking in as we do try to get young at running back. We did pick up Devin Singletary. We do got Sonoris Perry, people like that who we will probably put in there as well. So where is TJ Yeldon going to fit in and all that? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Again, training camp starts July 25th. We'll see what happens there. Why don't we get everybody that's watching right now to hit... So, hey, thanks a lot. Yeah, absolutely, Ronald. Thank you for saying that. Hey, everyone, if you haven't hit that like button, it really helps out the channel. Just hit that like button. It's free to do. Might cause some carpal tunnel maybe if you're getting that. But hit that like button. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, guys, hit that subscribe button as we keep you up to date on all Buffalo Bills news. We try to go live whenever there is breaking news. We try to keep you covered. I just did a roster breakdown, who I think is going to make the 53-man roster. Remember, guys, we currently have 90 players on our team. Has to be cut down to 53 before August 30th at 4 p.m. And then September 1st, we have from August 30th to September 1st to look at who everyone else dropped and say, hey, he might be better for this spot than the guy we currently have. But like I said, my 53-man prediction, I think we're actually going to cut enough guys to be down to like 51 on our roster as of August 31st or August 30th, whatever the last day of August is. And then we'll pick up one or two guys before that September 1st deadline. And see who we get at that time. But again, yeah, thank you, Ronald. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And I appreciate you guys commenting over here while we're live. If you're not watching this live, feel free to leave a comment below. I try to get back to all my comments. And if you'd like to see us do a video on something else, a topic that you want me to cover, I will happily do that. Leave a comment in the description or in the comment section below, and we'll cover that as well. But I hope you all enjoy your Saturday. Happy we got to talk a little bit about the Melvin Gordon situation. Again, if you didn't see it, Paul from Hashtag Sports went live yesterday. Go over to Hashtag Sports. He broke it down a lot better than I could. Give you a lot more stats about the potential of a trade. Went over that. So check that out. If you haven't subscribed to Hashtag Sports, hit that subscribe button over there. Hit that subscribe button here. Again, guys, do not forget about this Andre Reed mini helmet contest. Go over to www.bewarethestampede.com as we partner with them, not only for this giveaway, but to continue to give you great Buffalo Bills content. That's what we'll continue to do as the season approaches. So again, thank you for joining me. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Again, enjoy your beautiful Saturday here. I hope it's a beautiful Saturday where you're at. Enjoy your Saturday. I'll talk to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.